Joshua was born with what they call a diaphragmatic hernia. So when he was born, he already had challenges. He had to be emergency transported to UVA the night he was born. His diaphragm had a hole in it, and his intestines went up into his chest cavity. And so his lung on one side didn't have anywhere to expand. So he had to go get that repaired the same day that he was born, and pretty much was in intensive care at UVA for months. He kind of went home with a good, he's doing great, he's going to be fine. So we had that attitude that nothing else was going to bother him. He was fixed. Everything was going to be great, but the reality was developmentally he just never did catch up. He did have all of these challenges at birth, but he also had just about every symptom of autism, from not answering to his name to being interested in things that have parts, the parts of things and not how a toy works. Came up with this diagnosis called PDD-NOS, which is pervasive developmental disorder, not otherwise specified. Just kind of a catch-all phrase for developmentally he's looking an awful lot like autism, but we really don't want to pin that on him right now. And we got him some really, really great intervention at a very early age. So right before he turned 2, he had a team of people coming in and working with him day and night. My friends were seeing progress that was being made with Joshua. They saw him going from no speech to saying words. I got another mom, and we went and visited Rainbow Forest Baptist Church, where I attended church, and talked to the pastor there and said, we really need to start something for other people because people are struggling, the resources aren't out there. And after a lot of conversation, Pastor Mike Groom said, let's start a nonprofit. So we started in 2002 with 2 kids and 2 staff members, and became licensed by the Department of Education. 2002 until 2009, we were located at Rainbow Forest in the Children's Center as Blue Ridge Autism Center. And then, before you know it, we had 25, 30 people on a wait list. We'd outgrown the facilities, and we visited multiple places, and we ended up at a place called the Achievement Center. And the Achievement Center was a school that served kids with learning disabilities that was greatly struggling. But they had this beautiful building, and they said, let's combine efforts. Their students had something to offer our students in the way of social interaction and social development. If we could interact some of them together, but keep them apart too, to target what they needed to target individually, it could work. So we merged in 2009 with the Achievement Center.
We want this to be a happy place. We want our students to be running in the door, excited to be here and know that they're valued. And we want our families' voices to be heard. And I think when it was started in the basement of a church with 2 students, even though it's grown into a huge organization, that's still the feeling you get from BRAAC.
I think the one-on-one care and love that our students get, and in the STARS, is just every child gets what they need. Everyone is different, and it doesn't matter how they're different, but we find a way to reach them. These kids, being with these kids every day, I come in and I may find that I have, there may be a problem that I have at home, and I can just come into this school and forget all my problems. It's really a loving place to work.
I think we meet the students where they're at, and we meet them on their individual needs. It's, we're not, in a box doing what says has to be done. Obviously we're doing their IEP goals, but I just feel like we meet them where their ability is and grow from that. A parent called me one time and told me that her son said that he loved her for the first time. We both cried on the phone. Just those small rewards that, of course, that I'd probably take for granted.
They love coming to school. We have some students that love it. And so from the time they come in, they're happy. Like they all have a camaraderie. So they're excited to be here, and they help each other. They love learning together. It's just awesome. You can't believe what it's like until you're actually in it and see it. I love watching these kids. Everyone thinks they can't learn, but you see them grow and learn. It's just amazing. Every little thing they learn, it may be a small step for some people, but it just melts your heart.
Everyone has pulled together to make a great life for him.
What are some of your hobbies or interests? What do you like to do? played football, played basketball.
One day he took a picture of a Lord Botetourt football player and made it his profile picture on Facebook. And I was like, no, you can't do that. We met together with Joshua's educational team, his IEP team, and made a plan for him to transition to Lord Botetourt High School.
I was the head football coach when Josh arrived here, and he was part of our team, and he brought a lot of knowledge to our program, and our kids left better people because of their relationship that they had with Josh.
Josh was an athlete, and he helped us out with the football program for a couple of years.
Game nights, he was more fired up than anyone.
He's big into weather, and he would always tell me, being athletic director, he'd say, "Hey, Coach Pound, there's going to be thunderstorms today. We got to watch out, or there's a snowstorm coming."
We were playing Stanton River over there one night, and we got to a point in the game where it was under control, and I'd called a timeout, talked to Coach Poston about letting Josh come in and carry the football. And there was a young man, I can't remember his name, who played over at Stanton River, number 34, but he grabbed hold of Josh's shoulder pads and escorted him to the end zone, made sure that he scored, that he didn't fall down on the way. He was pretty happy. I think he was pretty excited. And he took off kind of like a bullet too. He was really running.
He was ready.
Yeah, pretty excited.
How about that? Impressive. I did that for my papa, my grandpa. Oh, my favorite coach is Coach Benson and Coach Harris because they're nice people.
He loves going to work at Mission Barbecue, and Josh is very into military and uses the word like loyal and stuff like that. Them doing the national anthem. He loves them for that, and for him to be involved in that just makes him feel very special, which he is.
Officer Leonard. I'll be in law enforcement, a police officer, because I want to serve and protect people and help other people out.
Whether it's worried about people in Kansas that a tornado may be coming through or local flooding, Josh genuinely cares about people. I think as individuals, especially men, we need a purpose, and I think Josh has a purpose when he comes here to work. I would encourage people, maybe a little fearful, autism, to get to know these kids. And they are, just as you and I have different personalities, so do these other kids, these young people. And so I would encourage you to get to know them.
You don't get monetary rewards from this job, but you get emotional rewards that nobody can compete with. I think we have been able to give language to kids who would have never spoken or had any communication.
He has overcome many obstacles, and he will go far. He will go far.
I think BRAAC has helped the kids so much. They may not be able to do everything, but when they leave here, we really try to make sure they can do the most important things on their own. And if they couldn't do that, I don't think they'd survive in this world.